Let's talk about Meta's secret empire. It's not in the metaverse, it's at the bottom of the ocean. And right now, there's a race to build the next internet, and you need to know about it. So let me ask you a question. When you think of the cloud, what do you picture? Something floating up in the sky, right? Maybe something to do with satellites. Well, what if I told you that's not really it? The reality is, a wild 99% of all international data. I'm talking everything from your DMs to global financial markets to top secret military comms. It all travels through physical wires. Yep, on the deep, dark ocean floor. The cloud is actually a massive web of over 1.5 million kilometers of subsea cables. That is the physical backbone of our digital world. I'm your host, and in this explainer, we are diving deep into this hidden world that powers literally everything we do. But we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how you can be at the forefront of building its future. So if you're ready to get way ahead of the curve in emerging tech, do me a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button right now. And you know what? Drop a comment below and let me know what other topics you want us to explore. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with Meta's secret ocean empire and its crown jewel, a project called the To Africa Cable. Now, when I say this thing is big, I mean the numbers are just staggering. It's 45,000 kilometers long. That's longer than the entire circumference of the Earth. It connects 33 countries, serves over 3 billion people, and carries 180 terabits per second. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a game changer on a global scale. But here's the thing, bringing this much power and connection to a continent comes with some serious questions. Is this really a gift, or is it a kind of devil's digital bargain? Take a look at who's involved. It's a whole consortium. You've got Meta from the US, of course. You've got major players from Africa and Europe. And then you've got China Mobile, a massive state-linked Chinese company. This isn't just a business deal, it's a geopolitical chessboard laid out on the ocean floor. You have to ask, who's really calling the shots? And that leads to this quote, which really hits the nail on the head. Is this whole thing just a hunt for eyeballs? Think about it. If you bring all this connectivity, but there aren't enough local data centers, where does all that new data go? It flows through infrastructure owned in part by Meta. It's the classic devil's bargain. You get amazing internet, but at the cost of your data. Okay, but the drama doesn't stop with geopolitics. There is a ticking time bomb hidden in these cables, a threat that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's called the quantum data heist. Here's how this heist works. It's a 3-step play. First, you steal the data. Right now, bad actors are tapping these cables and just copying everything. Second, you store it. They're hoarding mountains of this encrypted data, even though they can't read it yet. Because step 3 is to break it. They're waiting for the day they have a powerful quantum computer that can just shatter today's encryption and unlock every secret they've ever stolen. And you might be wondering, how are they stealing it without setting off alarms? Well, they use this incredibly sneaky technique called evanescent wave coupling. All they have to do is carefully bend the fiber optic cable, and they can capture the little bits of light and the data inside that light that leaks out. They never have to cut the line. It's basically the perfect silent crime. So yeah, this is a massive, terrifying global threat. I get it, but listen to me. A threat this big creates the career opportunity of a lifetime. And this right here, this is where you come in. Because when you look for the data, the stats on who is actually building and securing these billion-dollar projects, you find almost nothing. It's a ghost town. But let me be clear. That is not a barrier. That is a wide open invitation for us to step up and fill that space. This is the new front line of cybersecurity. We need people, we need you, designing post-quantum cryptography, the codes that quantum computers can't break. We need experts in dry plant security to guard the physical landing stations. We need threat intelligence analysts predicting sabotage. These aren't just jobs for the future. The demand is right now. So where do you even start? Let me break it down. You can target the owners, the big hyperscalers like Meta and Google, for roles in systems engineering. Or you can go to the builders, the companies physically laying the cable for marine and optical engineering jobs. Or look at the partners, the regional telecoms like MTN and Orange, who need network engineers. The door is open at every single level of this industry. You see, the whole game has changed. We're moving from an era of just putting physical armor on a cable to a whole new era of building these impenetrable digital fortresses around the data itself. Just look at this. On the left, you've got a telegraph cable from 1858. Simple. On the right, a modern fiber optic cable. The technology has leaped forward, and so the way we protect it has to be just as revolutionary. The old security playbook, it was all about physical stuff, steel wires, burying the cable deep. But the new playbook is all digital. We're not just trying to stop someone from cutting the cable anymore. Now the focus is on making any data that gets stolen totally and completely useless, using things like post-quantum cryptography and even something called optical chaos. And believe me, this is just the start. 2 Africa is huge, but Meta's next project, Project Waterworth, is going to be even bigger. We're talking 50,000 kilometers, connecting 5 continents. The demand for people with these skills is about to absolutely explode. Thank you for being part of A Black Girl's Guide mission to bring awareness to our community and put us in the driver's seat of emerging technology. The last internet was built without us at the table. So the real question for all of us now is, who's going to build the next one?